Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make another happy heart. I think this one's super adorable. I did get the smiley face on it. Let's have a little bit of repetition when we make it. Here's what it looks like without the smiley face. So cute. I think I've wanted to make this ever since I made the pretzel, because that's kind of the basis of this one. So I love it. I think it's super cute, and again, perfect for Valentine's Day. It's nice and sturdy. So cute. So we have to make another one because it needs to have two. So band wise, it is 356 bands, so it is a little band heavy, but not too bad. And when we're making this, most of it, we kind of make it out, well, starting kind of right here, then it comes out this way. We close it off, and then we have to put it back on the loom for the lower portion to close it up to get the point. This part might be a little tricky on the bottom to do that, but I'll show you two different ways to do it, so hopefully it'll be easy for you to do. But we'll get started. First, I used the 7mm pony beads, so it's the smaller pony beads for this one. I think that the larger pony beads would probably pop off too much, so you kind of keep that in mind when you decide what eye you're going to use. But the 7mm pony beads, the little ones, these are the Creatology brand. I get them from Michaels. If you're going to use those, then you want a piece of craft wire, string thread, or floss, something you put into a V shape. Then you'll take two bands, the color that you're going to use for your heart, put it in the center, close it up, and then thread it through your bead. Pull it down. Like that. So you want two of these, and then if you don't have the beads, you can just use a band. It's one band on the hook, doubled, and grab both bands, double them again, and then pull through two bands through them. So that would be an eye band if you didn't have those beads. And then we have our cheeks, which are made the same way as the eyes. Just one band, whatever color you want the cheek to be, on the hook, wrapped around again, and then pull through two bands. Like that. So two cheeks. And then we want our loom wrong end towards us. My bands. And we're going to start by making two 4-pin cap banded little half starburst things. So everything's double banded. So I'm going to start kind of right here. We're only working on a few pins, so I'm going to pick, this is my center pin, and then I'm going to go out to the 4 pins around. Like that. Now I'll put a cap band on this. It's 2 bands wrapped around 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. So once you have that one, you're going to make another one exactly like it on these 4 pins right here. So this will be my center pin. I'll go out to the 4 pins around it. Kitty's working her way over here. And again, center pin will get a cap band. 1, 2, and 3. Like that. So we're going to go in through our cap bands on both of these and pull up the top 2 bands wherever they are. up through that cap band and back towards themselves. So, and just do that all the way around. Hi. That's one. We'll do the same thing up here. And two. Like that. So now, here's one of the first repetitive parts. We're going to go around each little 4-pin section 6 times. So it's double banded. We'll just go around each section. So we'll go around one side and we'll do that on the other side. Getting a little too big there to sit on my desk. So like that, this is be our first row. So then we'll go and we'll flip the bottom 4 on every pin. That. So that's our first row, and I'll mark it up here. And we have to do 5 more rows just like that. So did you come to entertain us during all the repetitive parts, little one? You're just going to get hair all over my rubber bands. That's all you're going to do. Like that. That's our second row. Flip those bottom 4. Just trying to eat my little threading wire. That's mine. Sorry. Like that. Push everything down. So that's our second row. Do our third row. That. Flip the bottom 4. Let me push that down. Mark our row. So that's we just did our third row. So now we want to go and grab the center cap band and pull it up. So it starts to grow up. You know, it was easier when you were a sleepy little kitty. So look like that. So we still have 3 more rows to go. that. Flip the bottom 4. She's giving me this annoyed look like you're in my space right now. Alright, 2 more rows. It is official, we named her Miss Kitty because that's what Violet likes to call her. Although I think that Marbles would have been an awesome name. But Mommy got outvoted, so like this. Flip the bottom 4. But at least her name will be easy to remember. She definitely rules over my older cats. There's 5 and 1 more around. She's always attacking them. She kind of, her favorites are surprise attacks. They'll be sleeping and she'll run up and just attack them, and they're not too happy. I think they kind of like it, but mostly they're just like, I just want to nap forever. That's what I do. So like that. Flip the bottom 4. And push everything down. Pull up your center. So it should be like this now. So this part we just made is kind of like this lower portion here in the heart. So now we need to come around for that curve on both of them. So to do that, we're going to be doing some half rows and then full rows. So it's still 2 bands. So this will be a half row, and it's on this one down here, the lower one, it's on the left side, center, right side. The top one will be left side, center, right side. So we won't be putting any bands on the ends for the half rows. So do 1. So that's half row on the lower one. And this is a half row on the upper one. So then when we flip, we're just going to be flipping the center pins on both sides, so during a half row. Like that. And on the other side. And you want to push those down. Then we're going to do another half row right on top of what we just did. So 2 bands. So like that. And then again, only flip the middle 2 pins. And push everything down. And now we'll do a row all the way around each little section. like that. So then when we flip on the outside pins, it's going to be 4 bands from those half rows, and then 4 bands from that row way before. Then the middle pins will still be the bottom 4. And here's a corner again, so we'll have 4 from the half rows, and then 4 from the bottom. Same thing on the other side. Push that down. Pull up your centers, and they should kind of start to be twisting towards the outside. So that's 1, or what I call 1. Just keeping track for myself, don't you worry. And then we're going to do 2 more half rows and a row. So we'll start with our half row. Half row each side. The other kitty is meowing for some reason. It's apricot, I think. There's half row. Flip the center. Another half row right on top. I don't know what they're doing out there, making lots of noise. Another half row. Flip the middle 4. Push everything down. Now row around each little section, all the way around. Cats are so entertaining. Of course, so are children, but one's a little cheaper. Usually. Like that. Again, 4 from the half rows and 4 on the bottom on the corners. Middle ones are 4. The corner one. And the other side. Push all that down. Pull up the center. Push down. So now we need to do that again. And if, for those of you who are catching on, it's 2 half rows in a row is what I kind of call one little section anyways. And we need to actually do that whole 2 half rows row 2 more times. But for those of you who want to do it with me, stick around, we'll go around. So another half row. It's easy to lose your place in the half rows and rows if you don't mark them. So there's our first one. Flip the middle 4. Push down. Another half row. It's funny because right after I made this too, I had somebody comment on one of my videos like, why are you doing all those half rows for? I don't remember which design it was for. It could have been the rainbow or the pretzel or any number of ones. Half row, flip the middle forward. But it's to get the curve in the piece. Push everything down, and then we'll do a row all the way around each section. Like that. Then 8 on the ends to flip and 4 in the center to flip. I kind of wanted to redo my heart from last year, so I figured that this is a pretty good alternative. It's different, so you don't feel like you're making the same thing, and it's still a heart. Push everything down, pull up your center. I somehow use my bands up there. Alright, so one more time with the 2 half rows in the row. Or kind of one more time. Like that. Flip the middle 4. Push down. Another half row. Actually kind of sad I won't be home this Valentine's Day because of the trip I'm taking. Like that. And of course, when I was like, I told hubby, I'm like, so I'm going to be gone on the 14th. That kind of stinks. And he's like, yeah, I know. It's a Walking Dead premiere for the season. And I'm like, yep, that's totally what I meant, honey. So I do a row all the way around each side. Although I kind of agree with him. I'm like, no! So, be like, I don't know. I would think that my hotel would have AMC to watch. But if not, I can watch online too. But just like, you're so cute. I didn't even think he realized his little faux pas there of not being like, oh yes, spend Valentine's Day with my wife. He's a funny guy. Alright, there's our row all the way around this time, because we did our 2 half rows. Eight on the corners, 4 in the center. We're actually not that far away from being done, so we which is good news for you. And push everything down. Pull up your center. Alright. So now what we want to do is we've done the 4 double half row things. So what we want to do is do 2 more half rows. So we'll do our first one. So there's 1. Flip the middle 4. I'm going to have glitter everywhere from these bands. Like that. Do our second half row all the way around. Like that. Flip the middle 4. And push down. And now, this row is going to be our eye row. So you want your eyes, and we're going to do a row around each little section. But we're going to put our eyes right here in the front, or the side, I guess, depending on how you look at it. So 2 bands across here, and then an eye. And then 2 bands. And 2 more. And we'll do the same thing on the one above. 2 bands, eye, and 2 bands around the rest. So like that. So we flip just like we have been doing. 8 on the ends and 4 in the center. Like that. Push down. Pull up your centers. That should be something like this now. So now what we want to do is bring them together. So we're going to overlap it in the center. So what I'm going to do is just bring the bands up here on our lower little square. I'm going to grab the bands up in the upper corner and just pull them up and overlap the bands on the next one up. I'm going to do the same thing on the back side. Make sure those are pushed down nice. And then I'll just bring these 2, or the bands on these 2 pins up a pin. hook everything. You're going to push down, and then you can kind of adjust the center area like that. So you have 8 bands in the middle, 4 on the ends. You want to push that down, and I might try to poke up, so I have to push it down. So our next row is going to be a cheek row. So you want your cheeks. So now this time when we work, we're going to be working around all 6 pins that are together. So first 2 bands, like that. And to make this one a little bit easier, we'll put our mouth on right now. 1 band, put it on this pin right here, you just double it like a cap band. So 1, twist, and 2. So put it on like that, push it down. So we put our band across the bottom, then we have our cheek. Like that. Other cheek. And then 2 bands around the rest. Everyone in my house is getting colds again. It's that time of year apparently for us. My oldest was home from school the other day. He was not doing good. Seems a little better now, but... So like that, row all the way around, cheeks up here in the front, and then we have that little mouth band underneath our cheek girdle on top of the row from before. So we'll start in the back here with flipping. So 4 on the corner. Center's going to have 8, and they'll probably be a little tight. We want to get all those over. And 4 on the end. Come to the front. It'll be 4 on the ends. And then for the center, I still want to flip over all of the other bands first. So there's 8 bands to flip over in the center. Flip those over. And then once you have that flipped over, then you can grab your mouth band, which is on the pin, and flip that over the top as well. Like that. So then each pin should have 4 bands on it when you're done. And so we kind of want to pull this back up. Then we want to reduce our ends. So our 4 pins on the end we're going to reduce. And to do that, you're going to take your hook, go in through the top 2, grab the bottom 2 bands, pull them up through the top bands, and then bring them towards the center. And once you've done that, you can take off the end one right here. Do the same thing up on this one. Find the top 2. Go in through the top 2, grab the bottom 2, pull them up through, and bring them towards the center. Then the end can come off. Then we'll do the same thing on the front side. In through the top 2, grab the bottom 2, pull them up through, towards the center. In through the top, grab the bottom, up through, and center. So here's what you should have now. So what we need to do is do a row kind of around this. I'll take 2 bands and I'll put them on the back pin, or the front pin, doesn't really matter. We'll put them on one pin, then stretch them around to the other pin. And do that on both sides. There's a lot of bands on the pin, and the little side's the harder in the way, so you just kind of have to work your way around it. But one side, stretch around. So once you've got those all the way around, you kind of want to separate them a little bit. So we have 8 bands underneath to flip. Just get a few of them over and work your way on the rest of them. So you'll be left with 4 bands on the pin. Like that. So then you want to unhook the sides, if they are hooked. Then we're ready to take this portion off the loom. So I'm going to put my hook into one side, take it off the loom, come around to the other side, get those off the loom. And then once you have it here, you'll take 2 bands and pull them through everything on your hook, put both ends on, do a slip knot, and you should have the top portion of our heart like so. You can see my mouth band is poking out a little bit, so hide my mouth band a little better. And then for the tail, to hide that, I'll come up through, kind of through the side. Need a little more room to hide it. When I hide the tail, because I don't want to lose the point of the heart right here, I'm going to kind of come up through some of those bands that I actually pulled the tie band through. Come up through there, hook my tail bands, both of them, and then I'll pull that down inside. I'm still hanging on to it, not pulling so tight that that point disappears. See if I can get this out. And just keep pulling. Try not to snag everything else like I just did. But we want the point to stay a little bit, not like that. Not that much. Kind of like that. You may have to give these bands a little tug on the side to kind of blend it in. But now I have a nice point, like that. So now we need to connect this. What I'm going to do is squish these flat on the ends. There really isn't much to connecting them once we get it back on the loom, but it's just getting it back on the loom that's kind of a pain a little bit. To get this on the loom, we actually need to stretch these bands right here. So if you kind of look at this, we have that center starbursty area, and in that first row round, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts, and that we need to stretch over the loom and then just loom it up basically. So I'm going to just be able to stretch them over the loom, but if you're not quite familiar or afraid you won't find that row, what we can do is take some other bands, probably not those bands, ones you can see would be good. What you can do is find that first row around, put your hook through those 4 bands that are there, take 2 bands of a different color and pull them through. You can do that on that whole first row in those 4 bands. Now this is only if you can't find that first row or you're not sure you'll be able to find it when you're trying to get it back on the loom. And we have one more right here. And if 2 bands seems too messy to you, you can always just pull through 1 band too. You can see here, bands through that first whole row. So what you want to do is just take this. I'm going to have the face going towards the right. And we need to put these back onto a 4-pin configuration. So you just kind of hold it up. I can see that these bands right here are kind of the top left corner of my square. So I'll just stretch those out over here. Or you can just pick any one you want and start putting it on there, and then you can just turn it around as you need to. So like that. This is just to help you find that corner or find that row if you don't think you'd be able to. So we go for the one that's right next to that other one, but below it. And that'll go in the pin below. We'll come over to the other side. So if you need to use the bands, this is what it'll look like once you get it on the loom. And if you are going to use these, I would definitely put on your other side first before you do the next step, so that you kind of have them next to each other. The next one, or the other half of this, is just going to go right on the 4 pins right above it. For now. So you either have this way, or you can just go in and find that row. So here's my first row. If I kind of hold it here, I can see here's my top right corner. So this one's going to go right here. There's the lower right corner. That one will go right here. Now let's kind of hold this side down a little bit. Go to the other side. Grab that corner. And then one more. So let's look underneath. And if you kind of look underneath, this is what it should look like. And you can kind of see like almost a little flower underneath with the little loop bands. But that's what we want this to look like when we actually have it completely on the loom. If you've done this way with adding the extra bands, so you can kind of find that first row, then what you'll do once you get these bands on, you'll just pull your holding bands off, stretch out to that first row, and then remove your holding bands. So just 2 different ways. You can either go straight, put the row right on there, or you can use the holding bands, whichever way is easier for you, or however you're able to put it on. So we've got it on the loom like this now. They're both side by side. It's the easiest to get them on the loom, but now we do need to actually move them closer so that they overlap. So once you have them here, push everything down as far as you can go. It doesn't want to go down too far because of it's not hollow in the center. But then I'm just going to grab the lower one and bring it up and overlap the upper one in the center. Same thing right here. Bring these up. So get it on the loom first, side by side, and then overlap them in the center. Push them down as far as they go. Then we'll do a row around these 6 pins. We're almost done, so if you made it this far, awesome. And once we get this row done, then it won't want to pop off. So like that. So when we flip, it's going to be the 4 on the end. It'll be 8 in the middle. I'd probably do half and half. So there's 1. And the other half. 4 on the corner again. 4 on the corner. 8 in the center. And 4 down here. There. So if you made it that far, you're golden now. Push everything down. Now what we're going to do is reduce this like we did previously up here in the point at the top. So in the corners, you'll go in through the top 2, grab the bottom 2, pull them up through, and bring it towards the center. Then the little leftover can flip off. Same thing, in through the top, grab the bottom, bring them towards the center. And that comes off. And on the front, in through the top 2, grab the bottom 2, and bring them towards the center. Flip that one off. And then last one, last corner. Like that. So now we are on 2 pins, and there's 8 bands on each pin right now. So again, we're going to do a row around kind of the outside portion here. And this one is, there's definitely more stuff kind of holding things up, so there isn't as much room on the pins. So just kind of get that one on there, squish it down there, pull it around, come around to the other pin, and do the same thing for the other side. Get it on a pin, squish it down, hold it, bring it around, and to the front. So we want to flip the bottom 4, or bottom 8, sorry. Kind of do them half and half. like that. So you kind of untuck the sides here a little bit. And I actually want to do one more row around the outside like we just did. So push that down. One more row around the outside. So get the bands on one side, bring them around to the other side. They still kind of want to pop up towards the top of the loom, so just be careful. So around the outside. Flip your bottom four. And here. Like so. So once you've done that second row, we are ready to take it off the loom. So hook in, bring it around to the other side, hook in. Then take two bands, pull them through the end, both ends on, make a slip knot. Then we want to hide our tail, so I'll come up through somewhere in the heart. At the end, grab our tail bands, pull them in. And you just want to pull them in until you have kind of a nice little point at the end here. And I know it doesn't quite line up yet, don't worry about that. So like that, nice little point. So now you need to go in with your hook and adjust some of the bands because the way we had to stretch them way around the loom made them tighter. So you want to come in and kind of pull on some of those bands right around the point, just the ones that we just kind of loomed, so kind of in this little area is what we just added to it. And then if you notice there's little bumps here, that's because we pulled the bands out to put it on the loom. We just need to kind of go back in with our hook like the row before that and just pull it up so that there isn't kind of all the bulk right there. It's just because of how we put it on the loom. That side's better. Do the same thing on the other side. It's a little better. If you have some stubborn ones that are bothering you, like kind of right here, it's a little bit too bulky for me still right here, just take your hook, go up through the inside, come up next to it, grab those bands and just kind of tuck them in. That's better. Much better. Like that. That's kind of just a adjustment game at the end here, mainly just because of how we had to stretch everything so tightly or pull on things so tightly. But like that. Super cute. I think it's pretty adorable, and I like how they're nice shape and they're hollow on the inside. I was thinking too that while you are looming this, like after you loom the top portion here, what you can do, because it's still open so you can attach the center, when you're looming it you can probably connect them together so you can have like two little hearts intertwined if you wanted to do that too. And I thought that would be kind of neat. So before you connect it in the center, just slip the other heart, slip another heart into that middle portion, and then close it up with that in there. I think that'd be kind of cute. Let me know if you make that or give it a try. Hopefully you can understand what I'm trying to say there. I'll have to make my own probably. But if you do that, you can share with me on my Instagram, or if you just make some of these cute little hearts, I would love to see them. My Instagram is at Crafting Fantastic. You can share them on my Facebook page, which is feelinspiffy or Crafting Fantastic. They both should find me. And then, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you see when I come out with new things. And you got to see what I'm doing on Valentine's Day. But thanks you guys very much for watching. I hope that you enjoy these. So happy looming.